Hi everybody, my name is Heather Engdahl. I am the Director of Voting Rights at Civic Nebraska, and we've got a couple of voter ID bills to talk about. Senator Erdman introduced LB228 and 230, a pair of bills that would enact voter ID, but also a lot of other pretty terrible things are included in these bills. So let's unpack it. Starting with LB228, we're looking at not only the restrictive policy of voter ID and requiring an ID for participation in all elections, but we're also looking at a provision for all ballots to be counted on election day, which really overloads our election workers and really sacrifices the quality of the count by rushing it. So let's focus a little bit on LB230 specifically. And so, like I said, this bill, it would enact a voter ID requirement before participating in any election, but also this bill would remove our access to absentee voting. Nebraska is one of many states that has no excuse absentee voting, to where we can vote by mail. We do not need to provide a medical reason as to why we need to do that. We go through a very set process to request our mailed ballot, our absentee ballot, and this bill would change that so that we can no longer vote by mail. And in order to vote by mail or request an absentee ballot, a voter would have to provide proof and jump through a lot of hoops showing that they were either handicapped or disabled or a military person serving overseas. But they'd have to include a color copy of their ID, a certified letter stating that they were such, and just a lot of additional steps that should not be necessary. We should not be separating out types of voters in that way. And we should not be doing away with voting by mail and no excuse absentee voting. If anything, we need to expand our access to these things. We should be expanding the list of accepted forms of ID for all steps of voting, whether it's registration or otherwise. We have a great election system. Voting by mail is extremely secure. It's the most secure form of voting that we have. So to argue that you are concerned about election security, but move to remove access to the most secure form of voting and accessing elections, that's ridiculous, and that should be a point of embarrassment, honestly, for senators, anybody that supports this. So we're looking forward to seeing any additional voter ID bills that might come. We're looking forward to working with folks to really put voters first. That's what I'm really focused on, and I think it's really important that we prioritize voters and their access to our elections rather than any talking points or party politics here. Nebraska elections are secure, and Nebraska voters need to be able to freely and fairly exercise their right to vote.
Go to our website at civicnebraska.org to learn more about how you can get involved.